In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create tags. If you're not sure what tags are or why you would use them, please check out our dedicated video to understanding tags. So to create tags, first of all, you'll need to have admin access. If you don't have admin access, you won't be able to do this, and you'll have to request access from whoever is the admin within your team. Assuming that you do have admin access, you should have access to this tags option within the dashboard. If you click on this, it will take you to this tags page. Now, because I've already added tags within this company, you can see they're listed here below. If you're coming to this for the first time, this screen will be empty, with the exception of a few help guides to help you get started. So I'm going to add a new tag following this convention here. So I'm going to create a tag for a new office, Glasgow. To do that, I'm going to click Add Tag, and you can see that the name is required. You can see by this little asterisk, so we must put this in. Simply start typing the tag name, and you can see it's allocated it this grey colour by default. Now, you can optionally put in a description, which I think is a good idea, particularly if you want to explain to others what this tag's used for. So I'm going to copy this description, and I'm just going to say Glasgow office staff for this one. Now, I probably want to make the colour of this tag the same as the two that we've got here. So we can select the colour picker and simply drag this up. This is a white coloured tag, and then we just save the changes. And that's it. We've created a new tag, Office Glasgow, which we can now allocate to jobs or other items within the system. Now, there are some best practices when you're adding a tag. For example, I want to make sure that the contrast in the colours is good and readable. So let's just add a new tag. I'm going to call this dummy tag. And let's say we give this tag a colour from the colour picker. You can see the little icon here is telling us that this is easy to read because the white text on the sort of darkish red background has good colour contrast. But as we move this around, you can see this will give different feedback. So in this case, the contrast isn't as good, so it's okay to read. If I move a little bit further over, it's now telling us the contrast is making this hard to read. So this is going to be a good little sanity check just to make sure that the accessibility is good and the contrast is good for your users. Now, another thing to note is that the color picker will default to this RGB style. You can click this little icon if you want to change that. For example, if I know the hex code, I can just simply type it into here. So that can be quite handy as well, particularly if you have lots of tags that are related, as I do here. You might want to make them all the same color. Another thing to note is I can't use a tag name that's been used before. So this is telling us the name's been taken because we've already got a commercial tag here. So the name must always be unique. And just going back to that description again, like I say, you don't have to put this in, but I would suggest always putting it in just to really communicate to the team what this tag's all about and try and make it as descriptive as possible. So just to recap, you can create tags from the dashboard if you have the right level of access. You must be an admin to do this. If you're not an admin, you'll have to ask an admin within your team to create the tags on your behalf or give you sufficient access so you can do it yourself. I would suggest following the best practice guidelines for naming tags because you want to use tag names that are reusable and they're not too specific, and the guide goes into more details on that. When creating tags, it's also a good idea to use good colour contrast. You don't have to assign a colour, and many people will leave this as the default grey colour. But if you are assigning a colour, make sure the colour contrast is good so that they're readable. If you are creating related tags, as I did with my office example, it's also a good idea to color those tags in the same way so that you know that they're related.